Hi Founder fans, Jason here. We're in the new and improved studio, though we're still working on the light, so it might take me a few videos to get the lighting just right, and I have not gotten the webcam quite yet. We're still very excited to be in the new, rearranged and improved studio, and today's founder is Donald Campbell. Donald Campbell's story is fairly sad because Campbell grew up in New York. He moved to New York as just a boy. His father actually was promised a great deal of land from the royal governor of New York, and he recruited several families to move and form a new settlement in the colony of New York. Unfortunately, after they already arrived, the royal governor changed his mind and did not award them this land they were promised. So this gave Donald Campbell, as a very young man, a distaste for certain aspects of the British government. That being said, he did serve honorably in the 7 Years' War, or as we in America know it, the French and Indian War. During this time, he excelled, and afterward, when things started getting revolutionary, Donald Campbell decided to side with the Patriots. Now, he was almost immediately appointed as a Deputy Quartermaster General in the Continental Army, an administrative position where he was expected to help supply the soldiers themselves. So Campbell did want to serve with George Washington in the main army. I mean, who didn't? But Campbell ends up serving under General Philip Schuyler in the Northern Department. Now, Schuyler got gout, or I believe it was gout, but he got ill and had to return from the mission to invade Canada. That being said, Brigadier General Richard Montgomery was promoted to Major General and took over the invasion of Canada, and Donald Campbell went along with him. Now, unfortunately, when they get to Quebec, Donald Campbell's there during the actual invasion of the city. Richard Montgomery is killed almost instantly, and Benedict Arnold, who at this point was not a traitor yet and still a favorite of many of the soldiers, he was also severely wounded right when literally right out of the gate, literal gates that they ran through, right away, severe injuries to the two people in charge, and suddenly, command of this invasion fell to Donald Campbell, who was just not prepared to take over. He looking at it from his perspective, he saw these two leaders get killed. Things looked bad right away, people getting killed off right away, and he decided to turn and retreat immediately. And this, unfortunately, would affect several years of the war, because had they taken Quebec, now when the British came and tried to invade New York from Canada, they would have first had to invade Canada. It would have been a totally different strategic outlook. But because of this loss, the Patriots end up losing all of Canada. Now, many of the soldiers who were there that day thought they could have won the battle and would later criticize Campbell pretty heavily. In fact, Campbell was given a court-martial for ordering the retreat so quickly. Now, he was found guilty and cashiered out of the army very early in the war. This is the end of 1775, first few days of 1776. And he leaves the army and misses the rest of the revolution and effectively ends his revolutionary career. He spends the rest of his life trying to recoup money he lost, because he did help fund the army out of his own pocket a little bit there and tried to get that money back, and tried to finally get the land that his father was promised decades beforehand that family had been fighting for the whole time. Now, an interesting side note to this story is General Horatio Gates actually contacts George Washington and says, hey, Washington, did you know this guy was cashiered out of the army? Do you approve this? To which Washington responded by contacting President of the Continental Congress, John Hancock, saying, Hancock, why is Gates asking me if I approve? I'm not supposed to approve this stuff, which is interesting for two reasons. First of all, it's an early example of George Washington defaulting to the Continental Army, which the commander-in-chief defaulting to Congress became a signature note of not only George Washington's tenure as general and first president, but for all future presidents of the United States. But additionally, you see Washington talking to Congress about Gates instead of just responding to Gates, because already Gates was kind of showing his colors to George Washington, if I can say it like that. While Horatio Gates was one of the most important major generals in the Continental Army, one of the highest ranking generals, he was, to put it lightly from my perspective, a little bit of a nuisance to certain people, as the Conway Cabal indicates. So that is today's founder, Donald Campbell. I hope you enjoyed it. There's a motorcycle driving by, giving us a big shout out for the end of the week. This is Friday, and I will be back with another founder on Monday. Until then, make sure you hit like and subscribe if you're new here. We got a new set. My lighting's not perfect yet, but it will be in the future as I figure out what's going on. So thank you again, and I'll be back with another founder on Monday.